Hello and welcome to episode 15 of the Kingsgrove Sports Centre podcast. All right, well, it's been a massive week in sport, and here with me today to talk all about it is Charlie.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Charlie. And photographer extraordinaire, Bryden Sharp.
Morning, Stu.
How are you, mate? And of course, we can't forget the man that makes it all work, the man in the corner, producer Nick.
Hi, everyone. It's me.
All right. So, of course, we love to get your feedback and any comments on the show. So you can obviously contact us on our social medias, which I'm not very good at. So, Charlie, if you could run us through.
Is this my time to shine?
Yeah,
is it?
it's your gig. It's your gig.
So you can use that hashtag KSC podcast. You can contact us on Facebook at Kingsgrove Sports Centre, Instagram at Kingsgrove Sports, and Twitter. They still can't handle that plural, at Kingsgrove Sport. Now, we're available on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and KSC Podcasts, but producer Nick over there has added another one to that list.
Yeah, we are now on the platform called Stitcher. Stitcher is a good podcast listening platform, so if you're using Stitcher or if you're interested in checking out the podcast on another format somewhere, I think it's good for mobile phones too if you're on the go. Check out Stitcher. So we're on
Can you tell us a bit more about Stitcher? I've never heard of it, if I'm truthful.
Man, if I'm being real honest, I hadn't heard of it either before I looked into more channels to get us. I want people to be able to access the podcast wherever they're listening to podcasts. So if you're on Stitcher, so are we.
Look it up. All right, so as usual, it's been a big week at Kingsgrove Sports. We've got lots going on. Big sales on merchandise clothing. So we've got the World Cup coming up, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So if you want some merchandise gear, we've got lots of Aussie clothing on special. Big Bash clothing, that's all up to 45% off. We've got some bats on special. Kingsport bats are on special at the moment. They're 30% off. So heaps of specials going on. Lots of footy stuff as well. So come in and check us out online or visit your local store. The guys would love to see you. So come in. All right. So as I said, it's been a big week in sport. Lots to get through. Now Australia's named their World Cup squad during the week.
Any surprises, really?
Probably not too many surprises. Obviously, Smith and Warner are back. Couple of blokes may be unlucky to miss out are Pete Hanscom, who had found a bit of form in the couple of recent ODI series. Main talking point probably is no Josh Hazlewood. It looks like they're possibly sort of saving him for the Ashes series. Obviously, coming back off a bit of a stress fracture in his back, or stress spot in his back. So obviously they don't want to push him too much with a big few months coming up over in the UK.
So what do you reckon? Do you reckon that's injury management? Do you reckon, or is that just okay? Well, Josh is better at the test format than the one-day format.
I think there's a few bowlers that are common and the same as what Josh will do.
In that squad?
In that squad, yeah, definitely. You know, you got Jai Richardson, who very happy that he's in the side. You know, he'll be good with the English conditions, moving the ball around. You know, and I think there's blokes in that side that do the same thing as Hazlewood. Again, an underlying issue might be his injuries, where they've said, "Oh, okay, we'll rest him for the Ashes."
I think there must be a bit of injury sort of management and workload management there. I think the bowling maybe is going to be our weakness. I think if Mitch Starc probably doesn't swing it up front, and if Pat Cummins is a bit off, a couple of those bowlers, depends, could go the journey on some of those wickets. The wickets, I'm sure, will be pretty flat. It's a World Cup, it's a one-day tournament. They're probably going to be pretty flat. I don't think there'll be much in them for the bowlers. Small English grounds as well. They'll use the Kookaburra white ball, so it's not going to be a Duke's ball, so it's not going to swing as much. So, so whether or not if Jai doesn't swing it that much, he tends to bowl a pretty good length to get hit. Sometimes, Kudanal as well. Sometimes on and off. So it's going to come down to Starc at the top, Cummins. Be a lot on Cummins, and then there'll be a lot on Zampa and Lyon. I would have thought as well. Stoinis could be an issue as well. I'm not sure how if his bowling is that great. What do you think?
Well, he's averaging 40 with the ball,
Yeah.
over 40 with the ball, and so is Berendorf,
Yeah.
who's probably your backup seamer. I'd imagine he'd play a game or two when they want to rest Stark. Like the bowling is a concern,
Yeah.
definitely. But you never know.
You never know.
Someone may surprise you.
Yeah, I mean, someone could have a good tournament. I mean, we've obviously got class bowlers in there, so that's what we'll be relying on. That's where I just thought maybe Josh could have been handy. Proven performer at international level, top class bowler. Tends to bowl obviously a good length. So it's a lot of it's going to come down to our batting, obviously, which is in better nick than it was a few months ago. Obviously, a little while ago, we were thinking that we're in no position to win a World Cup. They were going to have to drop Finch because he couldn't buy a run. All of a sudden, and it takes a couple of games and he's back in form. He's going to captain the team. Now we've got too many batsmen. We're not sure where we're going to put them. We're not going to fit them all in. What do you think? Who should open the batting? You think it'll be Fitch and Warner, or will it be Finch and Khawaja? Will it be Khawaja and Warner?
I think it could be, personally, I think it could be any one of those three combinations, and it wouldn't really matter too much. In that, I think that Warner could bat anywhere. Khawaja has batted everywhere. The only one that you'd probably say is nailed on as an opener is Finch. Where have they been playing these warm-up games? UAE, isn't it?
Yeah.
In Dubai.
UAE in India.
That would be, from an Australian point of view, and obviously I'm English, so I don't really want to, back them up too much in a tournament where they could come against England. Is it a concern for Australia that they've been practicing in the conditions in the UAE, which are completely different to what they'll get over in the UK for the World Cup?
Well, like I said, they're going to be different, but I don't think they're going to be producing green seamers. So I think they're going to be pretty flat anyway.
You reckon?
I would have thought so.
I think the big.
How are the England batsmen going to go against green seamers? You reckon?
Sorry?
How would the England batsmen go on some green seamers?
Well, they've grown up with it. Is my point that they're sort of used to.
I know, but you don't. But even in one-day cricket, you blokes aren't playing. I mean, your game, the England game is based around attack, and you're not facing swinging conditions much even in the UK.
No,
one-day games.
But I guess my point is that the England team, probably the Ireland team.
It'd help you.
Are going to be used to.
It'll probably help your bowling attack, sure, but I don't think it's going to help.
Years and years, and that's what's going to be ingrained in their muscle memory.
Sure.
So it's not quite so different to them. It's just going home. It's what they're used to. Those conditions. If it does start to swing a bit, they know how to handle it, even at the one-day level or whatever it might be. My point is that Australia, going to the UAE and practicing there, perhaps it's a bit drier. Perhaps they turn to the spinners a bit earlier.
Yeah, look, possibly.
I think it's going to be a completely different kettle of fish. At the end of the day, it's a World Cup. It's a world tournament. You can't sort of look back at what happened in the warm-up games too much.
No.
That's the World Cup. That's when you turn it on. That's when you bring your A game.
Look, I know what you're saying, but I think the biggest thing that Australian cricket can take out of the last 6 months, 6 months ago, the public were against Australian cricket, saying, they're rubbish, they haven't done anything, and then they've just come out down 2-0 against India, and then they've come back and won the series 3-2. So
that's a good Indian team too.
Yeah.
Out of these warm-up tournaments, practice matches, whatever you want to call them, Australia will be going into the tournament with that much confidence and getting your two spearhead batsmen back.
Yeah.
Massive.
We're in a much better position than we were. Yeah. Look, no matter where we played, the fact that we could come back after being 2-0 against India. We beat in Pakistan. Okay, it wasn't a full strength Pakistan side, but we got the job done. We beat them 5-0. Batsmen are in form. We're winning. It's a cohesive unit. Guys are happy.
Well, it's not a full-strength Australia side either.
No, not really. No, it wasn't. Well, it wasn't a full-strength side either.
So I suppose swinging the perspective around a bit, being English, we crave disappointment. And what I mean by it, you can't really look back on the warm-up games too much. Everyone's making England the favourites to win this tournament at the moment. It's in England. They're playing excellent one-day cricket over the last 12, 24 months, but it's England. As soon as the tournament hits go, they had this habit of disappointing.
It's okay. I mean, I still put them down as one of the favourites.
One of the favourites, I'd agree with.
I think Pakistan will be a smoky. I think Pakistan will be a good team. They've got guys to come back into that team to make them stronger. They won the Champions Trophy over there in England.
Yes.
So they've got a history of winning a big tournament in England. Yeah, India will be strong. I noticed they didn't pick. Well, they must be strong because they didn't pick Richard Pant.
Yeah.
Wasn't necessary.
Is he babysitting for Tim Payne?
Could be. Yeah, he might be babysitting some kids. But so if you leave out one of him, I mean, he's a young player. He'll get another chance to go to the World Cup, sure. But if you've got that luxury where you can take out a batsman who's pretty devastating, then you must be pretty confident. So they'll be strong. So I think it's just good that obviously that Australian cricket now has got a bit more confidence. We're playing some better cricket. The public is hopefully a bit more on side with us. Are you expecting Warner and Smith to be picked straight away? Just go straight into the team?
I think they will. Is it the right call? Time will tell. They haven't played any international cricket for X amount of months.
No, obviously currently playing the IPL.
IPL, World Cup cricket, massive difference.
Yeah.
And I think Peter Handscomb's really stiff, not getting a spot. He was massive in those the last 2 series wins. Again, he's a wicketkeeper. Do you pick him instead of Carey and play him as a wicketkeeper batsman?
Yeah, as a backup. Yeah. As a keeper, put him in as a keeper because Carey will obviously keep. Carey's probably got the edge on in terms of keeping. But Pete's probably a better batsman. Carey's coming along in his batting, so it'd be interesting. I think obviously getting that the team right, getting that mix right, because obviously Khawaja is playing good cricket.
Yep.
He's batting really well in the one-day format. Obviously, Finch has now come back. He's found form. So and they've created a good opening partnership. They generally don't lose a wicket in the first 10, which is important. So does Warner bat at 3? I heard someone sort of talking about it that maybe he even bats at 6, so he can't. So he's in that back end of the overs. If the guys at the top can come through and set a platform, and then imagine you've got him, and if you can have Warner and Maxwell coming in, and Stoinis coming in with 20 overs to go, 15 overs to go, and they've got a platform. What sort of score we could set. You could argue the same thing. You bat Warner out the front. He sets a massive platform. You guys bat off that. I would like to probably see Finch and Khawaja open the batting, and then Warner bat at 3. So keep the Finch Khawaja opening partnership going. It's been working well. I wouldn't like to mess that up. I get Warner to come in at 3 because if a wicket falls early, Warner, he's basically have the batting anyway. That's no problem. If the guy's got off to a good start, he can come in and just capitalise on that. Then you'll have obviously Smith probably at 4, just to bat through and work it round, and then you've got the other hitters coming in down the order. So I think we've got a good lineup.
So I'll be honest, I haven't looked at the fixtures yet. Who do Australia play?
I think we play Bangladesh first up.
Okay.
Which will be, that'll be a tough first up. So there's never really an easy game in a World Cup. We've seen plenty of sides stumble over a game that they should win, and they don't. So you've always got to be ready. You've always got to be on your game. So I'm pretty sure we play Afghanistan, which that'll be interesting. We play the West Indies, who are also in some decent form. Whether or not they can take that over to England. Obviously, we've got a big game against India.
Yep,
that'll be massive. That'll be a massive game for us. And then and then we do play Pakistan. So we've got some tough games, and also Sri Lanka as well. So like I said, we have no easy games in this. So actually we don't. Yeah, I think we play Afghanistan first, and we might play Bangladesh last. So
so out of those
tough
6 teams that we play,
you've got to play us as well.
And England. And a warm-up game against England. That's nice.
A warm-up game at the end.
Yeah. I think we're playing New Zealand too. We're playing everybody.
Yep.
So it's a different format.
I think it's a different format. They're not doing it.
There's no Minnow
Nations. So I'm not sure if they split it into pools. So mate, World Cup. You've just got to.
There you go. There's 10 teams.
10 teams.
10 teams. You're obviously playing everybody.
Yeah. So I mentioned Ireland earlier, and they're not even
in it. So they should go well in the conditions then.
I think that's very disappointing for the lower nations not to be able to aspire to play in a World Cup.
In a World Cup,
used to love watching them.
I think they've just put them
John Davison coming out and whacking the fastest 100 for Canada. And
so I think they've just put them into the 2020 World Cup. I think they qualify in the 2020 World Cup, which is because essentially, this is just like it's a Champions Trophy now, isn't it? basically.
Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed really that the smaller nations aren't there. I mean, some of the best World Cup stories for the last 15 years have been Ireland beating Pakistan, Ireland beating England. Yeah, Dwayne Leverot's catch.
Yeah, for Bermuda or,
yeah.
John Davidson's
John Davidson's 100.
Yeah. That's real disappointing. They're the worldwide tournaments.
I think you could probably get to. I think you probably get to 12. Look, if you want to grow, I mean, if you're looking to grow the game, I think you need to have,
because it was 16, wasn't it?
Was 16, yeah. Maybe
Four
12 or 14 or something. I think you can get some more guys in there. I mean, Ireland. I don't know why Ireland can't make. I mean, they're a test playing nation. I don't know what you weren't trying. Ireland, Scotland,
Zimbabwe aren't in
there.
I remember playing Brian Lara cricket. It's probably Ricky Ponting cricket over here or something. In Kenya. And Jeff Boycott talking about Kenya, still learning the ropes of international cricket.
Yeah. But exactly. If you don't, I mean, if these guys aren't able to go to these tournaments, I know they play a lot more second tier cricket now. But if you can't get to the World Cup, if you can't get to the World Cup,
what's the end game?
What's the end game? Where do you go? I don't know if the ICC are looking to then make more of those. Ireland, Scotland, Netherlands, make them one day nations. I think they probably need. I mean, they probably should be there. You've only got to look at the Soccer World Cup where they're looking to put like about 48 teams in or something. Looking to get more teams into the World Cup.
And football, soccer is the most widely played sport in the world. And we've mentioned before that cricket is second. Yeah. So why reduce the number of nations playing the World Cup?
You might as well. Yeah, you might as well get them in there. Yeah. So you'd. I know. I think I don't know if they, because I think it goes for too long or whatever. But it only happens every 4 years. It's not like we're doing this every week.
Yeah. No.
So.
Is it to do with the minnow teams coming up against the powerhouse teams and getting flogged?
Oh, sure. I mean that happens, but how do you get better if you're not playing against the best? Like if you're just playing against guys at your own level, you only stay at your own level. You don't get better. But you've only got to look at Afghanistan. Afghanistan came all the way from the bottom and have now come to the top. And they're going to knock off one of the so-called premier teams in this World Cup.
Like Charlie said, some of the best memories of World Cup cricket is where a minnow nation will come in and knock off one of the bigger nations.
So there's no reason why we've seen at World Cups before. Ireland have beaten teams that they shouldn't have beaten. The Netherlands have beaten teams that they shouldn't have beaten.
Well, Kenya made the Super 8. In
Kenya's, Kenya beat. I think Kenya beat the West Indies in one of the World Cups a while ago. So you've got to keep making sure that these guys can get to these tournaments. Because otherwise, people don't play. If there's nothing to aspire to, why are you going to play? Exactly, where are you going to do it? So I think you've got to give these countries something to say. Yeah, we can get to a World Cup, and not just a 2020 World Cup. Do it in both 2020 and the 50 over World Cup. Get them to come in. So, because otherwise, what's the point? You can't just have these 10 teams playing because cricket will just drop off. You got to keep people coming through. Can we? It might be a bit early, but
why not?
Are we thinking? Are we thinking Australia will at least make the final? We think we're going to win the comp.
I think one-day cricket at the moment is very close, and it's whoever gets the bounce of the ball on the day, so to speak.
Yeah.
Using a rugby league term there.
Nice segue.
It could be, in a minute. It could be anyone.
Yeah.
I think Pakistan are a smoky. A real, well, not really a smoky. They're a good chance of winning it.
A good team.
Real good chance of winning it. West Indies, you don't know what's
they'll be a smoky. That's sort of how they turn up.
Yeah. And I think New Zealand. New Zealand could.
They're always there and thereabouts in a World Cup, aren't they? So
will Australia win it? It depends on how. I think it'll depend on Smith and Warner.
I think we'll make the final. I'm going to go. We'll make the final. We'll see what happens.
Against who, and will you win it?
I don't know. It's a bit early to say.
We're making predictions.
Well, of course we're going to win it. I'm not going to say no. We're going to lose it. Of course we're going to win it. We're going to win it, and we'll flog you blokes in the final.
Yeah, all right.
What do you think, Charlie?
What do I think? I think that if there's a man cat at the World Cup, it will be hilarious. I think that...
Especially if it's Ravi Ashwin.
Yeah.
Getting out.
Wouldn't that be poetic justice to England win the World Cup final against India with a man cat, and it's Ashwin that is the final wicket.
One off the last ball. Yeah.
I think... You know what? Sorry, I'm going to predict the semi-finals. We'll go England, Australia, Pakistan, and West Indies to make the semi-finals. India to disappoint and go out in the group stage. I'm not saying I want that to happen. This is what I think might happen. And you know what? I'm going to back Pakistan to win the whole thing.
There you go. All right.
Well, like in the Soccer World Cup, I picked Iceland. If you remember that.
Yeah,
it wasn't a podcast, but it was a video.
It'll still be on our Instagram. If you dig
you
deep
can find it.
far
You can find
enough.
it.
I might even put the link in the description.
Not the worst tip, but
no, I don't have the much soccer knowledge. So, maybe if there was a Bermuda or a Canada or someone in the World Cup, I'd get on them. But
to that end, then, and not wishing to put the man down, you said you don't know too much about football, and you went with Iceland for the World Cup. Our friend Nick over there, he's learning more and more about cricket all the time. Who's your tip for the World Cup?
For the Cricket World Cup?
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, I'm focused on producer stuff back here. I don't have any idea who's in the. I've been putting on Instagram stories, and I'm doing producer things.
He's too busy for the World. He's too busy for the World Cup.
The USA played in the World Cup, didn't they?
A Cricket World Cup?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they did. Dave's got one of their caps.
Maybe. Yeah.
Why not let?
That might have been a women. Was that a women's team?
Yeah,
no,
possibly.
I don't think they have.
I thought they did. I thought Australia destroyed them in a game.
They probably would.
Anyway, let us.
I can only imagine any American team is just expats from elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, they're mainly Indians and Pakistanis.
West Indians. It'll be
Yeah.
Or perhaps the viewers can let us know their predictions using that hashtag KSC podcast on the platforms that we mentioned earlier, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Right, so we talk a bit of rugby league. There was big news during the week in that I think I may have predicted this at some stage. Greg Inglis announced his retirement. Unfortunately, too many injuries in his shoulder and his knees. So he's decided to pull the pin. Sharpie?
Yeah,
thoughts?
massive news. Look, we all knew it was on the cards. This soon, probably not. Obviously, there's background issues that he's having.
He's 31.
31, you know.
Has been playing for a long time, and he obviously started very young.
He debuted at Melbourne when he's 18.
Yeah, so
it is in that term. It is a long career.
Yeah.
But you know, he does have underlying issues off the field where he did, and he's been honest with that. Obviously, that's taken its toll. Injuries as well, like you said, he's not getting any younger.
Yeah.
But you know, someone of that caliber plays in the centres. You're thinking, you know, you're going to get to 35.
Yeah, maybe. He hasn't looked fit for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think since probably they won the comp in 2014.
Yeah.
Where he was just amazing.
Yeah.
What he did for South. And look, the negative part of it, everyone's coming out. Like, people are saying that he's a legend of the game, and he is.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But people are coming out and they're looking at the negatives of what he's done in his career off the field. You know, obviously the drink driving, the issues with his wife, his first wife, and things like that. But they got to look deeper and what this bloke's brought back to Indigenous rugby league. What he does off the field for the Koori community is amazing.
Yeah.
It's giving kids of that culture something to aspire to.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic what he's done for the game as an ambassador. And I think it's great that South will have him on and be able to still do that.
Yeah, and he's going to obviously be around South Sydney, mentor the guys at the club.
Yep.
Also do a lot of work in the community, which is good at, which is obviously good for rugby league, but also good for the community, especially around Redfern.
Yep.
Then you can be involved there. So yeah, if you forget about the negative stuff, there's negative stuff in everybody's life. So,
yep.
But as a footballer, would you put him down as one of the best players, or even like one of the people talking about him being the best centre? At Melbourne, he played a bit of 5'8" at Melbourne as well. So it's not just
played everywhere in the back line, really.
Yeah.
Definitely a great player. Definitely, and we'll remember him as a great player.
Yeah.
But I think what he should be remembered for as well is what good he's done off the field.
Yeah.
For his community.
Yes.
I think that's the main thing, and people forget that. They just want to point out the negatives.
There's always a part of the community that always just dwell on the negative part, but yeah.
Always, and it's an easy story for people.
Easy story, yeah. Easy dig, but he's done some great work, and he'll still be involved in rugby league. If we move on to the competition as a whole, interesting competition at the moment, really.
Very up and down, isn't it?
Bit up and down. You've got Melbourne and the Roosters, who are sort of probably the two best teams. They're out in front.
Well, they play each other this week, which will give us a good pointer of where they
that'll be
are.
a big test. You've got the Rabbitohs are playing some decent football. They're doing all right. Obviously after Wayne Bennett, under Wayne Bennett, I should say. You've got the 3 Queensland teams occupying the lower half of the ladder. The Titans, you probably expect that. Not so much probably with the Cowboys. You would have thought they'd maybe be at least mid-table.
I think losing Tamalolo was massive for him.
Yeah,
he single-handedly
a lot.
destroyed the Dragons.
He'll win most of their games
in that
for
round
them.
2 match.
How much pressure currently is on Anthony Seibold?
If you ask South fans, they're loving it. They really are. They love seeing him fail.
He signed a big contract up at Brisbane. He's
massive.
And he's going to take them to the promised land. And
just back on Greg Inglis now that he's retired and opened up a spot. Will we see Darius Boyd come from Brisbane to South to fill that spot?
Well, they're talking about James Roberts possibly being on the outer at Brisbane. Obviously, Wayne Bennett's a big fan of Jimmy the Jet, so he may. I don't know how. I mean, South have obviously got some money to spend.
Yep.
I don't see Brisbane letting him go mid-season.
Yeah.
That would be extraordinary.
But Darius Boyd's playing like a busted at the moment. Like he's.
Well, I think he just
not
is.
playing
I think he
good
just is busted. I don't think. I mean, if you've got the choice, you could probably answer this better than me. But if you've got the choice of either getting James Roberts or Darius Boyd, who are you picking?
Well, I'm picking James Roberts.
Yeah. So,
but the thing is, he was sacked from South.
He was, yeah.
When he was originally there, South Juniors come through.
Yeah.
And he got let go for disciplinary reasons.
Yeah. So whether or not you
take the punt,
is he older and wiser? Maybe not. If you look at a few pictures in the papers recently, but maybe under Wayne Bennett, he might be better. Obviously, he played good football under Wayne Bennett.
Oh, yeah, outstanding football.
So it might just be, again, it could be the Wayne Bennett effect and his man management skills that might get him back to his best. Obviously, I mean, James is injured at the moment, so that's probably not helping him too much. So I guess that's watch his space. Penny Panthers under a bit of pressure as well.
A lot of pressure there.
Big move from Ivan Cleary joining up, getting the family back together, and it's not working at the moment.
Yeah, and the game they won a couple of weeks ago against the Tigers, they were probably good for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
2 minutes of the game where they scored a try. And
thanks for bringing that up.
The Dragons, good win on the weekend.
Good win on the weekend.
Hurts me to say it, but they probably beat an understrength Bulldog side, so their fans have gone out and bought all their grand final tickets, and they're going to.
Well, they're not winning the comp at the moment. They usually win the comp at this stage. They usually win the comp. They usually win the comp by now.
The April premiers,
Canberra wanting to sort of end the competition now.
Yeah, well,
they're third. Fine, they'll do. That's fine. We're good.
Yeah, they're winning games at home. They're winning games away.
Yeah,
and that's sort of unheard of for Canberra.
Could Canberra actually fulfil some potential this year? They've always been like a decent team. Should be doing better. Always somehow managed to find a way to fall out of.
On paper, they're outstanding.
Yeah,
really, really good side.
I mean, Ricky Stewart's had a long time. He's had a long time there without any success.
That's
so
right.
it's in terms of rugby league, surprised he's still there. But
he's a club legend. That's probably
obviously that's why he's still there.
What saved him.
Can they do something? Hopefully, you think.
Well,
Good for the competition if the Raiders can come back.
100%. They've started really well.
Yeah.
Manly started shockingly, but they're in the top 8 now.
In the top 8.
Yeah.
Winning without Tommy Turbo.
Yep.
Hopefully his hamstring can heal up and come back, and because they'll be a force.
Yep.
Obviously, a bit of chat around the fact that Greg Inglis is obviously retired, so there's a Queensland captaincy up for grabs. There's talk that the man nobody wanted, they didn't want in Queensland, Daly Cherry Evans could get the captaincy, which will be a bit of a turnaround.
Yeah, massive.
I think from all reports he's going to get it, because I'm not sure who else would do it. I think the fact that there is no Greg Inglis, there is no Cameron Smith, there is no Cooper Cronk, there is no Jonathan Thurston, so those guys are gone.
Yep.
It's a younger team. He'll have more respect in that team as opposed to obviously those 4 legends that play for Queensland, where he didn't. I don't know if they got on with him. I don't know if they respected him enough or whatever it is. But so could be a remarkable turnaround from a bloke that couldn't get into the team to.
Could be massive.
Obviously played game 3 last year. Played well, one man of the match, and then now he's going to become Queensland captain.
Yeah, as a Tigers fan, you happy where they're sitting?
We're doing it. We're doing okay.
Fifth?
We're fifth at the moment. Look, we could be probably a bit higher, but
Massive game this weekend, though.
big game against this week against the new stadium, New Bankwest Stadium. I think it's supposed to be a sellout, so it's going to be massive against Parramatta, who are going okay as well. Parramatta are doing all right. So it's going to be a big clash. Yeah,
Battle of the midfield there, isn't it?
Yeah, Battle of the West. So hopefully we can get points there. Just got to stay in touch. You don't want to start dropping some games.
Well, you look at Cronulla, they're third a couple of weeks ago, and they're ninth now.
Yeah.
But that's on the back of a couple of injuries to their.
I think it's going to be
key players.
I think it's going to be close, which is obviously going to be good for the competition. Yep. I think it's going to be close. Whether or not, Melbourne or the Roosters sort of just jump away and
I
do
think
whatever. But
they'll be there at the.
They'll be there at the end, but
for sure. But
I think, I'm
it'd
sure.
It'd be nice to see one of these lesser teams that haven't had, good seasons in the past come up. Like Tigers, Canberra, Newcastle,
Eels.
Not really.
Not really.
As long as St George don't make the 8, we'll be right.
Yeah, everyone will be happy. Hello to all the St George fans out there. Contact us on social media. I'm sure you will. Well, look, if you want to talk controversy, we will go on to that other rugby code. Just talk briefly about it. Obviously, there's some big news during the week that Rugby Australia have terminated Israel Folau's contract after some comments that Israel made on social media. Your thoughts on this? Is it?
Well, considering it's not the first time he's done it,
yeah,
that's probably why they've gone to that extreme and cancelled it. But if
divulge, what's he actually said? Just for anyone who might be watching or listening that doesn't know the story.
So, Israel is obviously very religious. He's Catholic. So he put out a thing on Instagram, sort of listing a whole lot of people that would go to hell unless they repent. And that was people like adulterers and thieves, but it also mentioned homosexuals.
Yep.
So, and this is where your point is, that he's done it before.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I don't think. Rugby. I don't think Rugby Australia necessarily sacked him for his point of view, because I think you're free to have the point of view that you've got. But if you put it out into public and it goes against essentially your employer's view or ethics or codes, I think that then I think you're able to be sacked.
The major issue is that someone of his caliber's done it.
Yeah.
Like if Joe Blow from the Australian public went out and posted that same thing, no one would care.
Yeah.
Just go,
you're an idiot.
Said it. You're an idiot. But seeing Izzy's done it once and he's come and done it again.
Yes.
And someone that, every rugby fan looks up to.
Yeah.
Young kids. People like that. And it may be a transgender person or a homosexual person that loves Israel Folau, and their heroes come out and said that.
So how does that make them? Yeah, how does that make them feel? Especially if it's like if it's a teenager coming up, all that sort of stuff. So I don't think they're not necessarily sacked him for his viewpoint.
No, I think
it's just
gone against their code of conduct.
Code of conduct, and he's been warned about it once already, and he said that he wouldn't do it.
Yep.
And so Rugby Australia took him at his word. I don't think there was anything written specifically in his contract, but he was just taken at his word that he wouldn't do it again, and obviously he's done it again. And so Rugby Australia as an organisation, probably can't tolerate that sort of behaviour. If someone was put out a racist tweet, I'm not sure if he can do the same thing. So it's whether or not, and he's got the opportunity to challenge it. I think he's got till the end of today to challenge it. Whether or not he will or not, I don't know. I don't think he's necessarily been that cooperative.
The one thing. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just saying, he's not. I don't think he's not necessarily. He's not returning to coach's phone calls. He's not sort of talking. I don't think he's talking to Raylan Castle. So he may just want to leave.
I don't have much. Well, look, I haven't read much about the story or anything out. One thing I would say about this is that the whole world is caught up in this notion that everyone is entitled to an opinion, and they are. But if that opinion is wrong or provably false, it's like saying, I believe the Earth is flat, despite there being photographic evidence that the bloody thing's a globe.
There's a fantastic documentary on that on Netflix, man. Definitely
Yeah, but my
It's
point
really funny.
My point being though that if just because your opinion is your opinion, it doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's pretty much all
And that's
I've got to say
where
on
you
that.
obviously get, if you've got, like you're saying, if you've got a big public profile, then yeah, you can obviously that create some negative consequences, not just for you personally, but for everybody else as well.
That's right.
So
People that you hurt with those comments.
yeah, I mean that
You
you may believe that, but the world in 2019 has moved on, and the majority of people believe in a different thing, and so if your views maybe not necessarily reflect that, then
20 years ago, he posted something like that. There's probably
no
very
one,
little
no one would probably care really, but we're not 20 years ago now.
No.
We moved on, so you just have to live with the times. Keep it to yourself, talk about it with your close friends, but I don't think you need to preach it to the whole world. So we'll just move on from Israel. We'll go to a couple of better stories. There was obviously a sporting redemption, also a slightly controversial character as well. The Masters was played over the last weekend.
Yeah.
And won Tiger Woods, won his 5th green jacket. I think that's his 15th major overall. He's back. He obviously hasn't won a major for a long time.
11 years?
Something like that. I think 2008. He hasn't won it for a long time. He's gone through a lot. Not only obviously all the off-field or off-course stuff.
This is
personal
another
life, but physically as well. He's had 4 back surgeries. His spine's been fused.
Has he had 4 back surgeries?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He's had 4 operations on his knee. Everyone had written him off saying he's not going to come back. He's not going to be the same player he was. He's not going to win a major. All the young blokes have gone past him.
This is another example of the hypocrisy of the media. How much they built him up when he was winning everything out there to win, and rightly so, and celebrating how good a golfer he was. And then all of a sudden things unwrap in his personal life, and the media jumps on him and vilifies him.
Well, I mean, that's a national sport in Australia.
In America,
sells newspapers.
And America,
that's all it's about.
Negativity sells, and we've seen that not just in sport as well. But now that he's on the way up again, I thought it was a joke when it came on the TV the first time, and I was so happy to find out
it wasn't April
real.
Fool's. It wasn't
April Fool's. Tiger Woods, good on him. I can't say anything other than bloody good on him, mate.
He played good golf. He played solid golf for 4 days. He put himself in contention. He was there at the end. He played a solid final round. A couple of the contenders made some errors, and it cost them. Obviously, Francesco Molinari, who's an excellent golfer, major winner, probably almost the informed golfer currently. Obviously, put balls in the drink on the 12th and on the 15th. Brooks Koepka did the same thing. They sort of faltered and fell away, and Tiger was just there, just did what he needed to do, and got the job done. But yeah, it's a remarkable story to be able to come back from where he was. I mean, he could have, after a couple of back surgeries, and it wasn't looking good, knee surgeries, whatever, he probably had every right to just go, look, I've had a good crack.
Did you play? Either of you play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to.
Yeah, try to. I don't do it well, but yeah, I try to. So he had every right to just probably pull up stumps.
Just shows the class of the bloke though to come back and win a tournament like that.
Yeah,
massive, and everyone loves a redemption story.
It's amazing to
I guess he was an underdog story as well.
A bit, yeah. I'll be honest. I'm not a massive Tiger Woods fan. I'm not. I was probably hoping that Molinari was going to win, or Jason Day, the Aussie, who was who played pretty well. Unfortunately, his 3rd round wasn't the best, but just to watch him, and then anytime he did anything slightly brilliant or decent, the crowd was like unbelievable.
Yeah,
like you know that someone's done something, and most likely Tiger when they're showing someone else go for a putt, and you can hear the roar.
Yeah.
In the background, and guys have got to pull away from doing whatever they're doing because the roar is so loud that
when you're watching
Tiger's done something.
When you're watching something like the Masters and professional golfers, they make it look so easy. It's a difficult game. It's very technical. The last time I ate 2 balls straight together was when I trod on a garden rake. It's not an easy game.
For a game where the ball doesn't move.
I wish I'd never said that now.
That's immortalized.
For a it's
Took us a while to
it's
get
now
it.
on the
but-
bubble. No, I got it. I just left it.
I had to make sure I heard you
just left
correctly.
it. Yeah, for a game where the ball is stationary, it's very difficult. It's ridiculous. But yeah, like you sort of you watch it and you think how do you perform like that? So you have to be in awe of the way that someone can deal with that pressure and execute their skills. He's obviously got great skills, but being able to do that and can consistently do that and perform.
I think that's across
remarkable.
all sports.
All sports, yeah. You look at
we all play cricket, and
yeah,
the levels we play compared to first
whatever,
international cricket.
whatever. Yeah,
it's just chalk and cheese. Like, it's just massive.
And that's what
that
separates
the elite.
that separates the mere mortals from those special people. And even in when you get to the elite level, it separates the very good players from the very best players.
Yeah.
You see, you one bloke might get lucky one day on a week or something and produce the win, but 15 majors.
Yeah. And he's chasing Jack Nicklaus' record of 18.
18, yeah.
Do we reckon he can do it? How many years has he got left in him?
I don't know.
Everyone wrote him off, but he's come back and won this Masters.
I'm thinking, I'm thinking sort of the Masters is more his tournament. I think might be his. So whether or not he can win a PGA or a US Open or the British Open.
Well, he was runner-up in I think it was the US PGA not too long ago.
Yeah, not too long ago. He played well at the Open last year as well. So look, maybe. I mean, again,
hope he does the Tiger Slam this year. I think that'd be amazing.
Could you imagine that?
So interesting stat. When you said that about chasing Jack Nicklaus' record, it made me wonder. So Tiger Woods is 43.
Yeah.
Jack Nicklaus was 46 when he won his last Masters.
His last Masters or last major or both?
Sorry, it says when Nicklaus claimed his 18th and final major championship at age 46 at the 86 Masters.
Yeah, so
he was 46 for his 18th, and Tiger Woods is 43 now.
And yeah, like Tiger's
playing
no disrespect to Jack Nicklaus, but like Tiger's fitter than would be fitter than him,
even with 4 back surgeries.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. Well, yeah, because golfers now putting more fitness. I mean,
Yeah,
if you look
absolutely.
at Brooks Koepka, I mean, he's training to be like a rugby league football player, basically. Like the amount of weights and stuff he does. Like
You don't see John Daly anymore.
No, not as much. What a character! What a John.
Ian Woosnam.
Ian Woosnam.
Nick Faldo.
Colin Montgomery. No, Nick was not. He was not carrying any.
No, he wasn't. We're reminiscing about these old names of golf.
Yeah.
Colin Montgomery.
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Oh,
Happy Gilmore.
that's my style.
Yeah. Okay. Now, on to another positive story for one of the members of our panel here this morning.
I did. I put on the Instagram story now. Why does Charlie look like he's ready for a race around the track, a lap around the track?
Good question.
I've got to be honest. I bought this
You want-
apparel in
you want-
hope more than expectation.
I know you won't fit in the car. I don't know that much. Anyway,
Oh, actually, he's
I-
right.
he's
in
got
the,
proof. Charlie's got proof of that.
I won't fit in the car.
there's video
Mate,
evidence of that.
mate,
Maybe
anyway.
depending on Nick's workload, we'll see. how we go.
Anyway.
Well, I was going to say, if you want to plug your photography thing, you get a new logo for photography, and all your stuff's going to be up there, right? Videos and pictures and stuff. Gonna be
Yeah.
on the
Let's get
page.
to why they should go and have a look at it in a minute. Right.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
obviously
Okay, so-
another historic moment in world sport. So it was the 1000th F1
Race
event.
yeah.
Or race. There's a bit of congestion because obviously they went to Indianapolis 500
Yeah.
a few times back in the 60s. But it was in China over the weekend.
Yes.
Charlie, you were lucky enough to go
Yes.
and experience it.
Yeah. Amazing.
How was it?
Now, bearing in mind that I've been to Rugby League, I've been to Premier League football and seen Tottenham v Arsenal, which is huge for me. I've seen Ashes cricket in England and Australia. This was by far and away the best sporting event I've been to. Now, you might have watched the race on TV, and if you did, you might have thought, well, this is boring, there's not too much happened. For me, I was just transfixed the whole race. I had my camera out, I had just my eyes over the whole circuit. It was amazing. I cannot overstate how good it was. Maybe it's because it was only the second time I'd ever been to a Formula One race, and how I've grown up around Formula One, if you like. I grew up in the middle of England, about 20 minutes away from Silverstone. Went to school with 2 kids whose dads worked for the Williams team, and in the days of Senna, Mansell, Prost, and all these, Damon Hill, these kinds of legends. And I never once went to Silverstone for a race. In fact, the only time I ever went to Silverstone was to the driving range to practice hitting balls straight.
What, stepping on rakes?
Yeah. I stopped using garden rakes and use clubs, and I might get somewhere. So I don't know where to begin.
Was it the atmosphere? Was it just the fact, the excitement of being there? Did they make it? Did they make it very? Yeah, is it very fan friendly and interactive?
I think the biggest thing is if you travel anywhere to watch a sporting event. You know, I've been to New Zealand a couple of times for rugby league, and you're just on a high.
Yeah,
you're just on a buzz.
Yeah,
absolutely a buzz. I mean, we were lucky enough to have Paddock Club tickets for the Friday. Now, Paddock is where all the teams set up, all the garages. We were upstairs on the balcony right above the pit lane, above the Red Bull and the Renault garage. So you walk in and they're offering you champagne and orange juice and stuff like that before you've had a chance to even look around. There's all these memorabilia. There's Michael Schumacher helmets, Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost. It was sensory overload, really, for someone who loves Formula One as much as that. Now, you mentioned about me being too big to get into a Formula One car. I've only ever sat in a Formula One car once before, and I was 5 years old, so I was more than small enough. There was another chance this weekend. I'll try and, if Nick's feeling good, we'll try and put the video in of me sitting in a model Formula One car. Now, modern Formula One cars have, once the driver gets in, they have these head restraints that go around your neck. There's absolutely no way they would have been able to put that on with me sat in the car. I filled out the thing, and I'm not a small bloke.
Yeah,
anymore.
but what are you, like 6'2", 6'3"? Can't tell sitting down, obviously. But
I'm 6'1" and about 115 kilos at the moment, so not in the best shape. Like getting in the car was ridiculous because your legs are actually above your ass, and you're sort of almost lying down. It was incredible. So Paddock Club, obviously you being brought drinks and stuff like that. We got to meet one of the drivers. That's what they do. We went with a company called F1 Experiences. I will plug them because they were brilliant. They were fantastic. All the drinks complimentary. All the food was complimentary. The food was beautiful. This beef that I'm salivating. The driver that we got to meet was Kevin Magnussen. I'll be honest, I chickened out of the question I was going to ask him. I settled with, your dad was in Formula One. How much of an influence was he? And can I get you a beer? And he said yes to the second one, and then I can't remember what he answered to the rest.
Said no to the first one.
Yeah, well, no, I can't remember what he said.
No.
The question I was going to ask him was, how much does Romain Grosjean cost your team in scrap each year by crashing all the time? And I thought, you know what? I'll settle down a bit here.
Maybe not. You might get asked to leave.
Maybe after the number of beers I had today, that might not be the best idea. Now, Friday night, we got a tour of the pit lane. We went all up to all the garages. In fact, we did that pit walk during the day as well. Got into Daniel Ricciardo's pit bay. Had a photo next to his front wing, which that was supposed to be invited guests only. And my mate Clifty took me and said half the reason that he wanted me to go along is because I got the gift of the gab and I'll ask things and get in. And we nearly got in the Mercedes garage, but they were just too busy. The guy tried for us, and I had this hat on.
You probably should have turned up in the gate. You could have just walked in.
Well, I did. I had this hat on.
Just walked in, mate.
I had this hat on. I swapped the King Sport one out. Sorry, Nick. And put this one on.
Do what you gotta do.
And then we walked up to the Renault garage and asked the same thing. Is there any chance of having a quick photo next to Daniel Ricciardo's front wing? Because obviously we're Ricciardo fans as well. And the girl looked at me and went, yeah, but you have to take that off. And for those that are listening, I'm wearing a Mercedes cap and a Mercedes shirt at the moment. Phenomenal pit walk. We got to go out to the cool down room, and then my moment of stupidity, infamy, whatever you want to call it. Another picture for Nick here. We got to go up onto the podium. Now, I'd mentioned early in the day that I've been a Michael Schumacher fan historically, and whenever Michael Schumacher won a race, he used to do this giant leap off the podium with a punch in the air.
Mid Toyota race.
Yes,
and the Toyota jump.
Yeah, and I had my photo with Clifty on the top step of the podium. And then the bloke organised it and said, well, why don't you do your Schumacher leap and we'll get a photo of that? And why not? I'm not going to get another chance again. So I did, and I miscalculated exactly where the ground was. So I jumped off the top step of the podium, got a fantastic photo. I'll bring it up for you boys here so that you can see. The full weight of my 115 kilos plus the force of gravity went through my heel. I'm still limping today, and it's 4 or 5 days later.
I would have liked to send that photo.
Yes, well, I don't think he's taken any. I've asked him if they've got any of me flat on my butt, but I haven't seen any yet. I was limping for the rest of the weekend, but determined that it wasn't going to stop us doing anything.
It doesn't hurt.
I was laughing.
So that picture turned up on, was it F1 Experiences Facebook?
Yes, it did, and it's on their website as well. I think it's f1experiences.com/China-photos if you fancy a laugh.
The photo of Charlie leaping into the air, they actually got a really cool picture of him jumping in the air.
Can't see him, but
Yeah, it's dark.
It's dark.
It's dark.
It was after sunset.
It's
but,
not,
but
didn't
it's still a cool
ever
pic.
flash?
to be honest, he was the other side of the pit lane taking the photo, so it wouldn't have been.
I don't know how high you actually got off the ground, but that picture makes it look like you
You
were
look like you
an
did leap
NBA
quite-
player, man.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
Well, that's the top step of the podium. You can see in the
Soaring.
picture, but where I landed,
your vertical leap is quite good.
it's not bad, is it?
Although you are lifting your legs up, so that might make it.
Yeah.
Look a little bit.
And this is just the Friday. Now, at one stage, I ran into Damon Hill, and he'd been a childhood hero of mine, probably the first F1 driver I really followed.
And he almost ran into you.
Yeah, a bit later on. I said to him, Damon, do you mind if I have a quick photo? And he says, mate, I've got to fly. And he just ran out. And I thought, oh, that's a bit rubbish. I've just been brushed by one of my heroes. Oh, well, never mind. And then about half an hour later, it became clear why. He'd taken his father's 1968 championship-winning Lotus out on a hot lap. And we'd been doing our paddock tour about half an hour later, and he came back into the pits and almost ran me over. So I got very, very close. And then I got to have a quick chat with him. He goes, oh, what do I do now? I said, well, you give me the keys and you let me do a lap. He went, yeah, all right.
You said that.
Yeah, then I got brushed by my second world champion of the day, Alain Prost, who was doing a TV interview. I waited to one side because I thought, right, I don't want to be rude and interrupt this. There's no one else around. And he did that. And I went, excuse me, Alain. And he looked at me straight in the eyes, looked me up and down, turned around and went into the Renault garage.
Good,
And I thought,
good call. Good
Yeah.
call, Alan. Good call.
most of the viewers and listeners will say, well, fair enough, it's
Yeah.
you.
I'm happy. I said that yesterday. I'd be happy with that. That's a better story. I got brushed by a world champion. He looked at me, he looked me up and down, and just with contempt said no, and just walked off. That would have been better. That's a better story. I
I've
like
never
that.
felt more like Ayrton Senna in my life. I wonder if I'd...
He wouldn't have looked at you if he just would have walked off.
I think it's because I said to him in English, excuse me, Alain. If I'd have said to him, excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît.
Yes. Well, if you use those
The lingo.
the
If
lingo.
I'd
You're
spoken
French.
French, he might well have come and seen me. Mate, I don't know, maybe saw the Mercedes hat. And that's, like I say, this is just Friday.
Well, I mean, he does work for Renault, mate. Like, you've got to think about these things. You work Mercedes. Come on, mate.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, that was Friday. Saturday was qualifying. Saturday and Sunday we had the same seat in the grandstand. We're about level with the second row of the grid, top level, and the view was outstanding. You could see the whole circuit except the hairpin. For those of you who know the layout of the Chinese circuit, the Shanghai International Circuit, incredible. Saturday was fantastic to see the cars going flat out for qualifying, going hell for leather. Valtteri Bottas qualified on pole for the 1000th Grand Prix. They did a little presentation for him. Damon Hill did another demonstration lap. And then Sunday was race day, and Hamilton just got the great start and ended up with the win.
What's the start like? So you're sitting on the grandstand. So you're on the main straight. You've got the 20 cars or 18 cars,
Yep.
but it's lined up, and then lights go out, and then
Away you go.
bang.
Oh, yeah.
You've
And-
got video of the start, right? You
yes, I
showed me
do.
that yesterday.
Yeah. And it was just... Yeah, look, the noise isn't anywhere near what it used to be. The one race I went to before was Melbourne in 2011, and it was the old V8
8.
or V10?
think it might be
V8s. I think it was
V8s, yeah.
V8s, wasn't it? And they were noisy. They were incredible.
Yeah.
These F1 cars aren't as noisy. They're noisier than they were 2 or 3 years ago, I'm told. But the design of the grandstand in China that actually closes that noise in and it reverberates. So you got to... I think the Porsche Carrera Cup cars were pretty noisy as well, and the pit guns, the wheel guns they have in the pit lane.
The loudest of all.
And,
So apart from the Grand Prix,
yeah.
what was your experience in China? What was? Did you get to see much of it, or?
Well, we had one day free. The Monday we had free, and the great thing about F1 Experiences is it brings people from all around the world into that group. So we were having dinner with a German fella and his American wife. They lived in Atlanta, Georgia. There was a Canadian fella with us as well, and the 5 of us were all staying in the hotel. So we went up to the bar that night, and it's a 30-second story. We're staying in the Hyatt on the Bund. And they've got this bar on level 32, and you can see the whole skyline of Shanghai. Well, what you can see through the smog anyway. And during the course of that dinner, they told us that building over there is actually the second tallest building in the world. And we went,
Yeah?
well, it is pretty tall.
I can't see most of it.
Yeah. And they said that they were up there and they were actually looking down at clouds forming through the other buildings. Anyway, so the Monday that we had free before we had to go to the airport, we went up it. And there's one particularly tall building there, and I think it was something like maybe 800 foot high, that particular building. We were looking down a long way onto the top of that building from the observation deck.
There's no swaying, is there?
Well, they said it moves up to 10 meters, but we couldn't feel
boy.
it was stable as anything. A Shanghai Tower, I think, is the
I think
building.
they've
that we
got
went up.
counter sway things in that building.
They do. They said they had the most sophisticated or the biggest counterbalance in the world or something. I'm told it's the highest observation deck in the world. But my experience of China as a whole was pretty good. I mean, obviously not everyone there speaks English. I've always found wherever you go in the world, if you try and make an effort to speak their language a little bit, then they treat you really well. So everyone that we saw, it was ni hao, and anything that they brought up to you, shishi. So that's
you
hi and thank you.
Reckon you can do the outro in Mandarin or something like that?
Not a chance, mate. Not a chance. But overall, Formula One, amazing experience. If I may plug my photography page.
No, I think
as
you
Nick
should,
mentioned.
especially if anybody's interested in seeing more of your pictures and experiences from that weekend. Absolutely. Tell them where they can find it.
Yes. So we've just done a bit of a revamp with help from Nick here.
I did almost nothing.
I did almost nothing. Well, he helped me out a bit. I've called it Alpha Charlie Photography because most of my photography is aviation based. I think the Facebook handle is facebook.com/Alpha Charlie Photos. Someone's already taken Alpha Charlie Photography, unfortunately. I'm going to be starting a YouTube channel. I'm trying to build a video diary, but that could take months for me to actually put together all the footage from China that I took.
Yeah.
Also on Instagram @Alpha Charlie Photos as well.
I'll link your stuff in the. I'll link it in there.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, fellas. That's very kind of you to let me rabbit on there for.
Get onto our socials. Tell us about your best sporting trip away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
definitely.
made it
We'd love
great,
to hear about
what
that.
was good. Let us know.
We do have some. I mean, we have gotten some good people reaching out on some socials and stuff. We got a young guy named Caleb who's been commenting on our YouTube channel. Really likes the podcast.
Yeah,
Loves
shout
hearing
out to
about-
Caleb.
Loves hearing about.
We're thankful
cricket
for that.
and-
We'd love to hear your feedback. What are we doing well? What are we doing poorly? Do you agree with what we say? Do you not? Do you disagree? Topic you want us to talk about? Go into all that sort of stuff. So contact us on our socials. Love to hear from you. I think that's it for another podcast.
Maybe
It's been a big week in sport. So
it has. Maybe some suggestions from the viewers if there's anything that you like us to talk about. Feedback on what we have spoken about, whether we're right or whether we're wrong. Let us know. #KSC podcast.
Get involved.
Yeah,
all right.
cool.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you, Stu.
Thanks, Stu.
We'll catch
Good
you
to
next
see you,
time. Yeah, get the
been a
team
while.
back together. Been a while since we've all been together on a podcast, but we'll catch you next time, guys. Enjoy your sport, whatever it is, whatever you're watching, whatever you're doing, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks.